Hey guys, welcome back to Glenny Day Lifestyle. It is good to see you guys. To my 5 new subscribers, welcome to the channel. I'm so glad to have you over here. And to my tried and true guys, you know I really appreciate the continued support. So thank you so much. Mwah. All right, so what are we doing today? We're going to dive right into the much anticipated series, how you can own a home in Jamaica. So I'm going to talk to you about that today. We'll start with different parts of the island to kind of warm you up to the idea of where you might want to purchase a home in case you haven't ever been off the resort grounds, right? I know how that feels. And then I'm going to tell you share with you all the documents that you need to have in place to help you be successful in your home buying search, right? And if you're dealing with a bank, it's going to be very helpful. But if you're using cash, baby, cash is always king. So guys, let's dive right in. All right, guys, happy Sunday. This is a series kickoff. We are going to go right into episode number 1 today, how to purchase a home in Jamaica. I'm going to provide some tips for getting started. Where do you need to start? Episode number 2, mortgages, bank financing, or cash. Remember, I said cash is always king. So, if you're planning to use cash, you can still listen to this segment and all of these episodes just to give you some ideas because there's things that you're still going to need to have in place. Episode number 3, agent or real estate attorney or both. A few nuances there, a little differentiation from how we do it in the US and how they do it in Jamaica. Very similar, but you will see things that are slightly different. And then episode number 4, closing the deal, reviewing the fine print. Guys, you always want to review the fine print whenever you're signing any type of contract, real estate, mortgage deal. You want to make sure that that contract is, what you think it is, right? So always remember to read the fine print. And then we'll merge and tie into that episode evaluations and appraisals. Also, slight differences. Wording is a little bit different, but in the end, it sort of means the same thing. So we'll talk about that as well, right? So, guys, today I'm going to alleviate some of your concerns about navigating the process of home ownership in a foreign country, specifically Jamaica. I'm going to help you identify tools and resources that help you with the home buying experience in Jamaica. It's easy breezy, easy as 1, 2, 3, ABC. And if you believe that, I have a bridge to sell you. So it's really a tedious process, but with a little guidance, seriously, just a little bit of direction and guidance from someone who's been down this road before, you can do it. So let's talk about first things first. Where do you want to live? Right? How many of you have ever been to Jamaica? If you've been to Jamaica, put it in the comments below. Tell me when you went, how it was, what you experienced. Was it for a wedding, a vacay, a staycay? What was it for? Was it for a birthday, holiday? Anniversary, right? Tell me about your experience in Jamaica. And really, I would love to know if you stayed at a resort, an Airbnb, if you stayed in the resort the entire time, were you able to explore any of the island? So give me some feedback in the comments below. That'd be great to hear from you guys on that. One thing I want to say before we get into places is you have to get off the resort in order to know where are the places that you really like in Jamaica. It's a small island but a big island, right? Has lots of little pockets and little areas that you either like or you may not like at all. So but the only way to do it is to explore the island. Guys, get off the resort. And yes, exercise caution as you would anywhere, but do not be held hostage and be afraid to explore by any scary things that you may have heard, right? You just have to find reputable guides who can show you around the island. And trust me, they will be glad to do that. So let's talk about a couple of areas that I think you might be interested in. Montego Bay, it's popular, it's touristy, it's fun, it's vibrant, it's frenetic, it's crazy, right? But if you like that type of vibe, Montego Bay might be a great place. In addition, they have some wonderful little places that you can find housing, right? Affordable housing, high end housing. It's all right there in the popular touristy Montego Bay. Ocho Rios, waterfalls, lush rainforests. It is absolutely gorgeous there. You can meander through the town of Ocho Rios. Again, lots of shopping, lots of things to do. Who doesn't love the rainforest? Waterfalls everywhere. Then there's Kingston, city lifestyle vibes, gorgeous skylines, businesses, corporate entities, a lot of foreign investment going on in Kingston. Lots of development is happening. Kingston is just has blown up, and it's rather pricey. So if you're looking to, be very budget conscious, Kingston might not be the place. Negril is very laid back, stunning sunsets, 7 Mile Beach. Oh, by the way, let's digress for a moment. Kingston is known for its black sand beaches. You can imagine those are really gorgeous. But for me, my first love is Negril, and probably because you never get over your first love, I went to Negril first. It was my first place I visited in Jamaica, and I still love it to this day. Laid back, stunning sunsets, 7 Mile Beach, white sandy beaches, powdery, just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And then there's Portland, which sets itself apart from everybody. Portland is arguably one of the most, or the most beautiful place in Jamaica. It is absolutely stunning. If you don't believe me, Google it or YouTube it, and you'll see it's breathtaking, unspoiled, rare beauty, hidden gem. However, much to the chagrin of the locals, Portland is not so hidden anymore. Lots of new development has taken off in Portland. And unfortunately for them, and fortunately for us, it's a lot of opportunity to find, build, or develop housing there, right? So, those are just a few ideas. Okay, guys, so now we're going to go right into what do you need to get started. You're going to need, in order to pre qualify and get qualified, um, or pre approved or whatever, you're going to need a TRN, a job letter, last 3 months of pay slips, credit report from either Equifax, Experian, or TransUnion. Those are our top three: Equifax, Experian, or TransUnion. Last 6 months of your bank statement from a salary account. I'll talk to you more about that in just a few minutes. Last 2 years of your W 2 forms and a copy of an ID and the TRN. Let's talk about the TRN. The TRN is a taxpayer's registration number. This is the equivalent of the U.S. Social Security number, so it tells you how important it is. You're going to need this number. This is your Jamaican goal, guys. You need this to do business in Jamaica. This is your entry into doing business. You need it to buy a home. You need it to sell a home. You need it to build a business. You need it to secure a loan. If you want to start an LLC or incorporate a business, you're going to need a TRN. You need the TRN. And it is essential that you get ahead of the game and go ahead and apply for your TRN as soon as possible. Before you even approach the bank, just have your TRN ready to go. How do you do that? Again, let's talk a little bit more about it. This, I want you to understand how important it is. It's really, again, like our SSN, or if you're in America, you know what I'm talking about, the SSN or the EIN. Many times we don't like to use our social security number when we're filling out documents or whatever. But if we happen to have an EIN number for a registered business, we can use that number on many of much of our paperwork. And so often we like to do that. We can, in some instances, you can use your EIN versus your as social security number. The TRN is really like both of those. The 9-digit identification number, very much similar. It's assigned to individual taxpayers, businesses, enterprises, nonprofits. You need it for nonprofits in Jamaica, partnerships, charity, etc. You need this TRN, and it's just as important as our social security number or EIN number for businesses, right? So you can go to www.jamaicatax.gov, and there's a wealth of information out there on that website. I will also put the link in the description box, but there's a wealth of information, tells you exactly what you need to do. Now, it will, again, how do you get it? There's going to be an application plus documentation. I want you to imagine walking into any US passport office and needing a passport. The first thing they're going to ask you, right, is where's your application and what is the supporting documentation that you have. This is no different. When you apply for the TRN in Jamaica, they're going to ask you to complete an application, and it has to be submitted along with a passport or a driver's license or national ID, voter's ID, work ID, school ID. Again, guys, a must. This is a must, that it is going to have to be in addition to a birth certificate. Let me make myself clear. You're going to have to submit a birth certificate. And this is bigger than I am a US citizen. This is where I was born. If you're born in small town USA, that will need to be on your birth certificate, right? Everything, the county that you were born in, the state, the city that you were born in, your parents' names are on that birth certificate as well. In addition to that, you're going to have to submit a photo ID, either your passport, again, your driver's license, national ID, all of these things that you see listed here. So just know from the ready that you're going to have to share some information. Um, you're also going to need a job letter. What's in the letter? Your name, your salary, how long you've been with the organization, and the name of a contact there. This is a letter really from your employer that states your years of service and your pay. The bank really wants to validate and confirm that, you said you made X amount of dollars. Now I need the letter from your company to prove that. So you want to make sure that you get that letter on company letterhead. This is not a letter you can type up yourself and have your department sign it. This is a letter that needs to come from your organization on their letterhead. Probably the best contact would be human resources to make sure you can get that information. If you're an independent contractor, it will be different, but you'll still have to provide all the items that I plan to talk about, plus maybe even more, as a burden of proof may be greater for an independent contractor. So one thing, guys, that I'm going to say is when you are getting this letter, I'm not sure that the bank ever called my employer to validate it, but I know that they certainly asked me for it, and they wanted a contact name as well. So you want to be aware of that. Make sure you include a name, a person that they can contact, not just a number. Okay, that's going to be very important. You're also going to need your last 3 months pay slips. Any bank in Jamaica, reputable bank, is going to request your pay slips. They want at least the last 3 months. At some point, they asked me for 6 months, but I think that may have been, when I think back to it, I think the 6 months had more to do with my bank statement. And I'll talk about that in just a few minutes. But they're going to want the last 3 months. I'm going to ask you this. Does this feel invasive when you are giving out this information? It always feels invasive to me. If it feels invasive to you, put it in the comments below. Um, but the truth is this: you're going to have to share this information if you want to do business with any bank, be it America, be it in the UK, be it in Jamaica, be it in Canada, wherever, right? Be it in Spain, wherever you want to purchase property, do business, you're going to have to share this information. And I felt so like, oh my God, this is too much. Even when I looked at my W 2, my pay slip, I didn't realize how much information is on that pay slip. It's very thorough. And so I tried to just redact things that black out stuff that I didn't think was really relevant. and they dinged me for it. They were like, nope, you can't black out anything. I'm like, yeah, but this is all about my, what I pay for my health care and, 401k contributions. You guys don't need to know that. Like, oh, by the way, 401k, yeah, we do. We actually do need to know that. So they need all of that information. They're going to get all that information. Okay. So I had to, you know, start over again, give them three new clean pay slips. So save yourself some time. Just give them what they ask for. Don't black out anything. Okay. Credit report. You're going to need a copy of your credit report. And I am going to share with you something very important. Jamaica does not have the ability to pull your U.S. credit report, but they certainly can ask you for it. And in fact, they will. Sending your personal and financial information, guys, always makes you feel vulnerable. Whether you're sending it around the corner, around the street, across the street, there's always that possibility that your highly personal data can be compromised. So, the best way to remedy this is to always use a secure link when sharing your personal data. Use a secured link. I was fortunate because my company does not allow us to send any pay slips, any information regarding any accounts that we have, or our social security information. They don't allow us to send it via the network, so they have provided secure links for us to use. So I was very fortunate that I was able to use that. And outside of that, there are numerous apps that you can use to get a secured link. It may not be 100% hack proof, but it certainly helps you sleep better, and it narrows the possibility, right? And that's what you want to do. You want to make sure that you've done your due diligence and you've been very vigilant with your credit and with your background and with your personal data, so that you can say, well, you know what? I did all that I could do, and they still got me. So if you can say that, it's much more of a peaceful place than woulda, shoulda, coulda, right? Um, Again, I had a lot of concerns about sending personal information, but on the other hand, you would have to do this if you were applying anywhere. So always use a secure link. I cannot stress that enough. All right, and then you're going to need the last 6 months of your bank statement. This one was a lot. I mean, 6 months is a lot of statements. And it always gets me because there's just something about those bank statements when you look back at them and you think, oh my God, did I actually spend that much money at Taco Bell? Just kidding. Or did I actually you're looking at your nails, your hair, your Bath and Body, your Apple Music, everything personal about you. To me, your bank statement is so revealing and it just feels so personal. But in truth, the bank probably cares less about what you spend your money on and more about whether or not you're getting that direct deposit, that ACH is coming into that account every 2 weeks, every week, every month, however you've stated in your application, that they can validate that by looking at your bank statement. Do you have the money? Bottom line, do you have the money to pay them back their loan? That's the ultimate decision that they're looking to make when they're looking at your bank statements. So don't worry, don't fret, don't redact anything, don't black out anything. They'll just ask you for a new copy. Again, I just told you that, right? They're going to ask you for a new copy and you don't want to have to do all this work over again. Alrighty. They're going to need the last 2 years of your W 2s. These are your end of year earnings. Of course, you know where to get these. You can get these from Human Resources, your organization. If you don't have a Human Resources department, typically these are uploaded. If you have any type of automated time and attendance system now, like many organizations do, you can print them right directly out from there. And again, secure link. If you're independent contractor, you're going or independent business owner, you'll need a 1099, and you may be held to a higher standard or proof of income just because maybe some of the paperwork may be a little bit disjointed. So you want to make sure you keep really good records of everything, your profit and loss statement. This is something separate from what I really know a lot about, but I can try to help you as much as possible if you have any questions around that. I know that I did have to declare a net worth statement. That was eye opening. I'm like, okay, this is how much I'm actually worth on paper. That is your assets minus your liabilities.
very eye opening. And I don't know, that was just, par for the course, I guess. And then finally, guys, there is this whole piece again around the identification. Be ready to provide a copy of a state or government issued US ID. Now, this was in my initial stages, but as you get further in the initial stages, I provided just my driver's license, right? And the other things that they needed. In terms of bank accountments and statements, etc. But as you get further into the process, they're probably going to ask you for your US passport. And I really did not want to give them my passport because I was like, you already have my ID. You already have this. You have my work ID. You have my driver's license. What more do you need? And they were like, well, this is policy. We need your passport. And I did share that again, secured link. So just be aware that you're going to need um, probably to share your passport and another form of ID as you're going through this process. All right, so stay tuned. I'll be right back with you in just a moment.
Hey guys, so that brings us to the close of this segment. I really do hope that you guys got a lot out of it. Honestly, it is daunting to buy a house in your own country, much less buying one in another country. That will add layers of confusion, right? However, it's not really that bad. It's not that scary if you have someone who can walk you through, guide you through the process, and be that voice of reason to say it really is not that deep, right? You can get this done. And hopefully I was able to provide a little bit of that for you today. Next week, you guys don't want to miss, right? Because we're going to revisit some of these same things, but we're going to add a little meat to the bones and put some context around mortgages and financing. Again, don't want to miss any part of this series. It's going to be so helpful. And then stay tuned for the quote of the week. It's a good one. It's about growth. It's about stretching. It's about faith.
Quote of the week: let your dreams be bigger than your fears, your actions louder than your words, and your faith stronger than your feelings. Think about this one. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I thank you guys for watching.